This is card number 11 in the Cute as a Bug series. And I hope you're enjoying what you're doing. This one is kind of fun. So you're going to be sure to cut out the 2 papers from the designer series paper, and don't forget to cut out the ladybug the butterfly as well. So open up your kit, and in here we're going to start with our Blackberry Bliss and our white, which is going to be the inside of our card. So we'll adhere those together. Just place that right on top there, leaving that 1/8 inch border all the way around. Now I recommend you burnish that top edge just to make it nice and secure. So we're going to measure in at 1. I first started out at 1.5 and measured 1.5 from each edge with my ruler and put a pencil mark. And that's going to be covered because you're going to put the Blackberry Bliss and white layer on top of it. So I did that, and then I decided 1.5 wasn't right. Let's do 1.25 from each edge. So I'm going to go back and erase those marks and mark it at 1.25 and 3 inches, and I'll mark that at the bottom, and we're going to use those marks to line up those bars that are coming down. So if you go in from 1.25 inches from 4.25, you get 3. So do the same thing at the top so that you have a nice guide to lay those on and mark to lay them on. So then you're going to take, and you have 2 different sizes of papers. We're working with the longer ones right now. So we're going to put that in there, and with the right edge on your marks, the marks that you made will line up on the right edge of that piece of paper. Put some adhesive on it first. That always works good. And lay it down in there with that mark on the right. And then you're going to just close this top down and secure it. So you want to make sure your adhesive is up, facing up. So do the same thing on the other one, adhesive, lay it on those 2 marks, lining them up. And the mark now is on the left-hand side of the paper, on the left-hand side of your strip. So just lay that down, and once again close down the top, and you have those 2. Now 1.25 felt a little close to me even. I might even move it over to like 1.125 on each side. So don't be afraid to experiment and try it and see how you think it looks. My original one, I don't know what it was because I don't know which one is my original one any longer. So then I'm just going to put 2 little glue dots at the bottom of those little strips, and or glue adhesive, some kind of adhesive. Put your adhesive down there and lay that across. Make sure it's even with the bottom of your card and even with the right and left side of your card. So it should be exactly fill all the way across. And then I did that at the top. And so I just put 2 little glue dots up here at the top and put that strip across, and just leaving a little space in between that very top edge and the first bar going across. And then you have 3 of those left, and you're just going to kind of space them out and check and see about where you want to put them. And if you do this, there's 2 ways to do this. So you can, there's probably more than 2 ways, but 2 ways that I thought of. First of all was to place them and then go in and put the glue down on the strips that are coming down. And so I did that for 2 of them. So those first 2, I think the first 2 I did it, yeah. And then on the last one, I decided, hey, I know an easier way than trying to kind of guess where it's going to go and everything. What if I just put it on the paper itself? I just put it right in that center of the paper and turned it over and put it on there, because when I laid the paper on there, I could see where the bars were going to, the strips were going to come down, and it made it really easier. So you just want to make sure you don't get so much glue that it sticks closed. Your card has to open, so you want to make sure you didn't get so much glue on it that it stays closed. So now we just have our flowers that we fussy cut, and those have to be fussy cut, sorry. And you can cut them as close or as far away from it as you want. So you could actually go outline and not even cut down into the parts between the leaves and the flowers. But I'm going to put some glue on it, and you just want to be careful where you put your glue again, because that's going to affect where it's sticky. So if you get it sticky on the back, you want to take an embossing buddy and powder it, and that'll take off some of that stickiness. It'll get it so that it doesn't stick any longer on the back, on any spaces that are open that have adhesive on them, whether it's glue or it is a tape runner or whatever it is. So, and then here I knew I was going to put some on the bottom, and then from there I'm not sure where I'm going to go, so I'm just going to try to put a little bit on the bars going across, but I want to be careful because I don't want to get it so that it shows from the front either. So I'll put a little bit on the strawberry because I know it's going to touch. You can always put it on and then kind of lift it up and put more underneath it if you need to. So that's what I'm going to have to do with that little flower at the top, and maybe the other strawberry here, I'm going to have to lift it and put a little bit of glue just to secure it. So you see these flowers, I cut extra flowers out of the designer series paper and glued them on there. And don't forget to cut your little grass part, because I did for this one. I completely forgot it. And forgot to cut my flowers too. So there are my plants. Yeah, I'll put a little more glue on here just to hold that down, and maybe a little bit on this strawberry. Just making sure that it gets on where it's going to attach to the crossbar there, so that it doesn't. And once again, if you turn it over and check and see if you got glue showing, then you'll need to powder that. So we have a what do they call that? Gingham, a gingham black and white bow here. And I just thought that goes really pretty. I wanted a Blackberry Bliss ribbon, but you'll see I ran out of Blackberry Bliss ribbon. That was a retired ribbon, and I used it all up, and it's such a pretty ribbon. It would have looked great on this. So if you have it in your stash, you may want to put that one on instead. And then the only thing left here is the butterfly and some bling. So be sure to trim your ribbon tails. I do not cut them. I tie your bows for you, but I leave enough that you can trim the tails. So make sure you always trim your tails. I should have stamped the happy birthday across here, and I completely forgot. So let's see. You can do one of two things. You could either attach do a little punch, stamp it on a piece of white paper and punch it out with the classic label punch, or you can give it a shot. It would probably be better if you stamped it before you put it together, but I just completely forgot about that going on there. So I'm going to give it a shot, and if I mess it up, I can come back and put a tag across it. It doesn't have a whole lot of dimension on this card, so the only thing on dimensionals is the butterfly, so you could put a tag across there, and it looks like it came out beautiful. So I'm not gonna do it, but keep in mind, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or if you stamp it and it doesn't work, just put a tag across it. So I'm going to add my bling, and you have purple bling in your kit. You have enough to add 3 of those on this card, and that really adds to it. And then we're just going to add the butterfly, and he's going to go on dimensionals, but be careful because you only want to put dimensionals on the top of the butterfly, because his little bottom area, the bottom wing and his body are not going to attach. They're going to kind of free float. So once again, you don't want a dimensional there unless you're going to put it somewhere else, and you will be able to put it so it's not over the opening. So But let's see if there's anything else I need to tell you about this one. I don't think so. I think that's it. So this is card number 11. I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you at card number 12. Thanks, guys.